Hello, and welcome back to another document deep dive. This here is a photo, the last photo actually, of Generalmajor Buck and Major IG Bull. No, I think this one. The last photo, in fact. The next one of him is this funeral photo from 9th September 1942, where Buck, Bull, and their driver, I think this one, are being buried because they got ambushed and killed in combat, which is unusual for a divisional commander and other high officers like that. So we will look at the report to see what was going on there. Alright, here we go. Report on the attack on Major General Buck and Major IG Bull on September 6, 1942. On September 6, 1942, Major General Buck, accompanied by the first General Staff Officer, Major IG Bull, drove an Opel Admiral car, driver, Sergeant Gockenbach, from Goryachi Kluch to Saratovskaya, the headquarters of the divisional command post. Approximately 2.5 kilometers beyond Klyusheva, the road leads over a small bridge. The creek basin is overgrown with low oak trees on the right, and it leads 40 to 50 meters across open fields on the left. Shortly before the bridge, at approximately 12:20 p.m., the driver slowed down because a supply truck from the 14th Company Infantry Regiment 305 was approaching. The two vehicles passed each other on the Saratovskaya side of the bridge. The passenger in the truck, Corporal Held, saluted, and the general returned the salute. The general's vehicle had barely passed when the truck drivers heard a very loud explosion, and shrapnel whistled through the windshield from the rear left through the open window of the cab. A motorcycle dispatcher, who was parked about 500 meters away on the same road, also heard the loud explosion. He also saw a steeply rising plume of smoke. Construction soldiers working 400 to 600 meters away between 12:20 and 12:25 p.m. made the same observation, even two explosions. Now, we can pinpoint, well, we can't really pinpoint, but we can kind of see this area in Google Earth these days. So this is Goryachi Kluch, and this is where they wanted to go, Saratovskaya. Now they said that a river that was overgrown was on their right. So my guess is that it was maybe here where there's a bigger... now obviously this whole area has seen a lot of development since the war, so it's hard to tell what was where or what was already there. This seems like a possible place for this ambush, so they would be driving here and then got ambushed. On the other end, there's the river on both sides in this case, basically, so kind of weird. But it seems to have been on this side of the river, so it could be at a different place, hard to tell. But yeah, roughly in this area is where this ambush happened. So what exactly went down? The general's vehicle had been attacked. Sergeant Arnstein, 1st Battery Heavy Artillery Battalion 612, arrived at the scene shortly afterwards. The Opel Admiral was parked parallel to the road in the field with its left wheels in the ditch and was heavily damaged on the side facing the field. The general was lying sideways in the front seat of the car and was dead. Major Bull was lying outside the car by the ditch. He was also dead. Sergeant Gockenbach, a driver, lay seriously wounded at the edge of the field. Sergeant Arnstein asked him what was going on. He said they had been ambushed by partisans and that the general was dead. Major General Buck was therefore killed instantly. Corporal Lehmann, Construction Battalion 494, who later entered the scene as security, noticed another impact in the road nearby. Two grenades must have been thrown at the general's car, one that exploded in the front right at the level of the windshield, another on the road behind the car. About 20 minutes after the attack, a car of the Panzer Corps Communications Battalion 457, driver Erich Klöpfner, brought, the wounded and dead to the aid station Saratovskaya. The construction detachment, operating 400 to 600 meters away, immediately took cover upon hearing the detonations and infantry fire. On the orders of the commander of the construction battalion, reconnaissance patrols were deployed, one to the right and two to the left of the road. A reconnaissance patrol brought in a prisoner, a soldier armed with hand grenades and a rifle, from the bush hollow on the left side of the road. The commander of the 235th Engineer Battalion, who was informed of the attack by NCO Wörle, staff of the Engineer Battalion 200 735, on the road outside Kljucheva, assigned a company to comb the forest to the left of the road. They also took prisoners, and a defector who provided the statements compiled here was also arrested. Thus, the raid was not carried out by partisans, but by a regular Russian assault force. Now, we have this interrogation transcript here. Interrogation transcript, it says here. The Russian Levikin Gregor Fyodorovich, born in Yelets, is a member of the 2nd Grenade Launcher Company of the 723rd Regiment and was part of the Russian assault force that ambushed Major General Buck and Major I.G. Bull on September 6, 1942, on the Kljucheva-Saratovskaya Road, 3.5 kilometers northeast of Kljucheva. Levikin provided the following information about the Russian assault troops. Now, one thing to note here is that Radio Smash did actually look into the Russian documents, and there's nobody in there of this name in any of the databases. Now, it's possible that they somewhat mistranscribed this. It is also possible that he wasn't actually a defector, but maybe got left behind or separated from his troop, and then said a wrong name when the Germans got him and acted like a defector to get better treatment. That seems also possible. Anything he says here is to be taken with a grain of salt, let's put it like that, and you will see what I mean. The 2nd Grenade Launcher Company of the 723rd Regiment, with a strength of 100 men, is positioned approximately 2.5 kilometers southeast of Kljucheva. On September 6, 1942, at approximately 9:30 am, the company, under the command of the company commander, 1st Lieutenant Sakharulko, was sent on reconnaissance duty with the mission of breaking through to the Kljucheva-Saratovskaya road, disrupting German supply traffic by ambushing vehicles and, if possible, taking prisoners. Each man had a rifle with 50 rounds and an anti-tank grenade. So what they used to blow up these cars, and the divisional commander was probably an RPG-40 impact anti-tank grenade, which was a fairly low-tech solution for hunting tanks. It was not a heat grenade like some of the later Russian RPGs. Instead, it worked on the scientific principle of more TNT equals bigger boom, and was quite dangerous to the wielder as well. One other thing I want to note here is that it seems weird to send a complete mortar company on such a reconnaissance mission. I mean, wouldn't you rather keep them for mortaring? I mean, having some mortars attached to such an, such a reconnaissance troop, okay, that makes sense, but sending the whole mortar company seems weird, because grenade launcher company is German speak in this case for mortar company. So this doesn't completely pan out. I'm wondering if he gave wrong information here to a degree. So we carry on here. In the area of the new road, another 18 men from the Regimental Reconnaissance Company joined them. The 18 men from the Reconnaissance Company were furthest forward, followed by the 2nd Company in rifle formation at a distance of 150 meters. Upon reaching the edge of the woods, the assault party remained for some time, then the first group of 18 men, taking advantage of the terrain and the vegetation, advanced unseen to the road. The mass followed this group, advancing slowly, keeping slightly to the left until they were about 100 meters from the road. According to this assumption, another 4 to 5 agile and courageous men, undoubtedly party or Komsomol members, advanced to the side of the road to a small bridge there. In the meantime, he saw several vehicles driving along the supply road towards Kljucheva. Suddenly, the defector saw a brief flash and heard a louder detonation. Immediately afterward, he heard several shots, which he believed to be pistol shots. He himself could not see the exact location as he was lying on the ground, and his view was obscured by a field of sunflowers. Immediately after the detonation, the reconnaissance party and the entire company worked their way back into the woods fairly quickly, following the same route. The defector himself took the opportunity to remain hidden in a bush until the entire company had retreated and he could defect to the Germans unhindered. Signed, Chef, First Lieutenant. So yeah, anyway, that's how a German divisional commander got whacked. Apparently, according to Radio Smash's research, the Russians did not actually realize what they had achieved until a bit later from German prisoner statements. And they assumed themselves that it was not their patrol that did it, but specialized so-called destroyer detachment detachments that were designed to stay behind in German occupied territory. But it seems to have been some kind of reconnaissance patrol. That said, as I said, it's not that clear, and the guy they interrogated might have lied. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.